Do you catch yourself making the same sounds or movements repeatedly? Maybe you hum a random song, bite your nails, or without thinking about it, spin your pen on your desk to help you pay attention while you're working. You might chew on your pens or rock back and forth in your chair when you're anxious. This phenomenon is called stemming. What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Hi, I'm Simon, and today we are talking about ADHD and stemming. So what is ADHD stemming? Well, it's when a person with ADHD displays self-stimming behavior by repeating certain sounds and movements unconsciously. There are of course many different examples of this, including lip biting, rocking back and forth in a chair or your seat, humming, grinding your teeth, or even chewing gum. But why do people with ADHD stim? There's no single reason that can explain this, but experts like to believe it's likely linked to how the ADHD brain works. Stimming it's a response to challenges that people with ADHD have in situations where we have to sit still or manage our emotions. When it comes to ADHD and boredom, research suggests that the imbalance of a chemical messenger in the brain called dopamine can affect folks with ADHD perceive reward and satisfaction. Due to this, ADHD can make it much more harder to pay attention to activities that don't interest you. You might stim to combat boredom in a fucking dull environment, or help you focus when completing uninteresting tasks. Self-soothing. Sometimes, stemming may result from nervousness, anxiety, and even stress. In such situations, this behavior could be a way of self-soothing in order not to become overwhelmed. There's also what's known as happy stimming. This occurs when you need to release and express your excitement about something. Neurodivergent people are more likely to engage in stimming, but the main reasons this happens varies on their own personal diagnosis. For an example, autism stimming most often occurs when a person is trying to manage their emotions and thoughts or cope in a overstimulating environment. In contrast though, a person with ADHD may stim to handle their emotions or help them pay attention, since ADHD often makes it challenging to stay focused. Sensory overload. Because of how the ADHD brain is wired, individuals may be hypersensitive to the sensory information that they receive, causing them to experience sounds and sensation more intensely for longer. As a result, an ADHDer may be quickly overwhelmed and overstimulated by surrounding stimuli such as bright lights, loud noises, and crowds. Stimming may be one way to cope with ADHD sensory overload, as it can help reduce the anxiety and pressure linked to this phenomenon. Some characteristics and examples of ADHD stemming. Many people exhibit self-stimulating or self-soothing behaviors, such as biting their nails, shaking their leg, or playing with their hair. These behaviors may overlap in ADHD stimming in some ways. That being said though, ADHD stimming is often more severe than just fidgeting in neurotypical people. It also occurs more often and may even interfere with some ADHDers' daily activities. The following examples are what ADHD stimming may look like. So, sight. Visual stimming stimulates your sense of sight and often helps tackle feelings of boredom. Examples include excessively blinking, drawing, rearranging objects, or flipping pages. Verbal. A person may hum or repeat words, click their tongue, clear their throat, or whistle to minimize boredom. Manage feelings of anxiousness or stay focused. Auditory. Some people may listen to the same song on repeat. Other times they mimic sounds that they may hear in their surroundings. Touch. I think we're on 4. Touch. ADHDers may catch themselves playing with their hair, grinding their teeth, or biting the inside of their cheeks, or picking at scabs, or picking the skin around their fingernails. Sometimes they may fidget with their clothes, rub their fingers together, or clench a fist. The main reasons for these self-soothing behaviors are to help focus and, of course, to self-soothe. So, smell. So this type of stemming can help people calm their nerves. It often involves sniffing items that have a particular scent. For example, this might be the smell of a perfume a loved one uses, or the familiar scent of clean bed sheets, fresh clothes, Number 6 is vestibular. I know I touched on this in a previous video, but it's a lot more than just what I mentioned previously. So vestibular stimming usually involves balance and movement. This might look like toe tipping, you're rocking back and forth, pacing, head shaking, or spinning in a circle. It can be sometimes difficult for a person to notice when they're stimming because it can be done subconsciously. If you are unsure yourself whether you are or not, you can ask a friend or a family member if they have noticed you demonstrating these kinds of behaviors. So the benefits and drawbacks of stimming for people with ADHD. In some cases, ADHD stimming may result in some physical injuries. For example, if you pick at scabs, that can cause bleeding, or if you scratch intensely, again, can cause bleeding, biting the inside of your cheeks as well. At other times, this behavior can become very time consuming. For example, you might engage in some visual stimming and spend hours rearranging like your room or drawing. Some stimming behaviors could also be very distracting for the people around you, like tapping your fingers or humming in a library. Saying that though, stimming can be harmless in many cases and doesn't necessarily need to be stopped. Living with ADHD is fucking challenging, and stimming may be helping you in situations that you find difficult. It might help soothe your nerves, relieve stress, or tolerate boredom just a little bit longer. If your stimming behaviors don't harm you or others around you, there likely isn't a need to curb or suppress it, especially if it helps you cope with your ADHD symptoms. Another question would be how to keep stimming from interrupting your day-to-day life. If your stimming leads to injury, or you're uncomfortable with how it makes others around you feel, there are different approaches you can take to reduce or manage it. You could try identifying your triggers and find ways to reduce them. So next time you catch yourself stimming, take note of the trigger. I have just today bought a brand new notebook that I will use and for this exact purpose. So was it a repetitive work task or a long presentation? Was there too much noise or too much silence? Explore what your most common triggers are and find ways to minimize them. For example, you could add more stimulation to a boring task by maybe moving to a new environment, like a library or a cafe. Or if loud parties overwhelm you, you can just plan to leave early. So a second way would be to devise strategies to improve focus. Since ADHD obviously makes it hard to pay attention, stimming may be a mechanism you use to stay on track. If stimming again leads to physical injuries or is disruptive to your classmates or your colleagues, you could instead try these tips to improve your focus and motivation. So tip number 1, schedule 10-minute movement breaks in between long tasks. Use a timer or a productivity app to stay on track. Break down big tasks into smaller bite-sized tasks. And number 4, keep your workspace organized. This is my first time saying it. Okay, we're moving on now to find workarounds or alternatives. You don't have to stop stimming entirely. Instead, you could find less disruptive alternatives or workarounds for your habits. For instance, rather than biting your nails or chewing the inside of your cheeks, you could try a few deep breaths to release any stress or anxiety you may be feeling. Tapping your fingers or spinning your pen or pencil can be replaced by less disruptive ways of stimming, such as playing with textured clothing, noiseless fidget toys. I know fidget toys are a thing and I find them really good actually, but like if you have a loud clicky one, like depending on your environment that might not be suitable. Doodling on a notepad or a piece of paper. Okay, moving on to seeking professional help and treatment. ADHD medications can help you manage your ADHD symptoms and improve your focus, reducing the need to stim. You can also try some therapy sessions to help you maybe recognize disruptive or harmful behaviors and help you replace them with healthier ones. Additionally, of course, an ADHD coach may help you with other ways to manage stressful situations, reduce your stimming triggers, and improve your focus and motivation. But please remember that not all forms of stimming are negative. ADHD stimming may be a practical way to boost your concentration and process emotions. In many cases, this behavior is completely harmless and in fact beneficial, so don't be too fucking hard on yourself the next time you find yourself flicking a pen or chewing the end of it. However, again, if it interrupts your daily life, it's always better to seek help. With proper support and treatment, you can effectively manage your ADHD stimming. Okay, that's it guys, that is today's video. Thank you so much for everyone who's been supporting me so far, everyone who has subscribed and watched and liked my videos. Be sure to like and subscribe to watch more videos. Also guys, just before I go, if you have any video ideas or like for me that you would like to hear me talk about, just let me know, comment below, reach out to me on Instagram. I don't know if my Instagram's linked, but I will put it here somewhere, or here, it'll be somewhere on the screen. Yeah, reach out. I would love to talk to you guys. Okay, peace. No, I don't do that. Okay, love you, bye. Phenomenon,